Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Fluently Speaking with Bola, where we learn to speak and write the English language better. Please click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video. Ensure you practice the lessons from today's class and invite others to subscribe too. Thank you. Hi guys, welcome to Fluently Speaking with Bola. How are you doing? How are you holding up this season? Trust you're keeping up well, keeping safe, because we have a new normal now, no matter how we look at it. And I hope you are already adjusting to that new normal. For those of you who are still going to work, those working from home, it looks like all activities, most activities are now on the internet, and of course that is the new way to do things now. That's the new normal. Okay, so as we adjust, let's also remember to keep safe and reach out to our loved ones. A lot of people are in need of basic household items, basic food items. Those items you think are commonplace are the basic needs of some people. So reach out, lend a helping hand to somebody, call people, find out how they're doing, send a message. I know. Okay, so let's keep checking on one another. Fluently Speaking with Bola promises to be informative as usual. Today I have loads of information to dish out to you. Today we're going to be learning another interesting topic, but before we go into that, I'd like to touch on some words I didn't look into last week. Last week we talked about common grammatical blunders that we make, but I talked about how to use on and how to avoid tautology. Now I talked about avoiding saying things like night vigil, short nika. Another word which is tautology, which is another type of tautology, is saying reverse back. Reverse already connotes a backward movement. So when you say reverse back, it's like you're saying move backwards back. It sounds very awkward. So sometimes when we get to understand the meaning of some of these words we use, it will help us to use them better. The same principle goes for return. You don't say return back, simply say return. Simply say reverse, resume. Most words that sound with the re already have that backward connotation in their meaning taking something back to its initial form, or return something to its initial position. Okay, now there's also the issue of this device, or should I say this part of an automobile that produces sound or that is used to create a warning noise, and it's called the horn. Now a lot of people confuse this and misuse it. Horn is a noun, H-O-R-N. It can never be used as a verb. When you want to describe the action of using that device in a car, the verb to use is honk, H-O-N-K. So you say honk at the vehicle, honk at the other driver, to create awareness, to make that noise, that effect, to create a warning sign for other road users. Okay, so that's the appropriate way of using the word honk. So never be caught saying horn as a verb. I hope you get it. Never use H-O-R-N as a verb when you're describing the use of that device in a car, of that part of the car that creates the warning noise. You know that horn, pam pam pam. So there's the other device, the one used to signify what turn you're taking. It is called the indicator and not trafficator. A lot of us say trafficator. It is wrong to call it the trafficator, trafficate. There's really nothing like, there's no word such as trafficator. It is indicator. It's indicator, not trafficator. I can't say that enough because I hear it a lot of times. And I understand the fact that to a layman, it might be difficult to pass the right message when you begin to use these correct words, when you begin to use the words the correct way. But you still have to speak right. Okay, so maybe for you to pass the right message in a precarious situation, you might want to use the layman language. But when writing, when speaking with people who understand the English language, you might want to use the correct one so that you don't sound like someone who doesn't understand what he or she is saying. Over now to the news of the day. So today we're going to be talking about comparative and superlative adjectives. An adjective is a word used to modify a noun. A beautiful lady. Beautiful is an adjective. Handsome is also an adjective. A handsome man. A gigantic building. Gigantic is an adjective. An informative show. A despicable comment. A glorious moment. I could go on and on and on. Adjectives make nouns colorful. They add colors to our nouns. Now, let's take it a little further. Talking about comparative adjective. A comparative adjective is used to compare one noun to another noun, so it's usually used between two nouns. A superlative adjective is used to compare three or more nouns or one noun against several other nouns. Okay, so it's used to depict the highest or the lowest state of something or someone. So while a comparative adjective is used to compare two nouns, the superlative adjective is used to compare three or more nouns. So you have good, better, best, bad, worse, worst. You have far, farther, farthest. Or you could also have far, further, farthest. You have pretty, prettier, prettiest. And then you have deep, deeper, deepest. Okay, so there are some rules we need to look at to help us understand how to use these comparative and superlative adjectives better. Now, to understand when to use the ER and EST, or the more and most, you have to understand some basic principles. Now, these rules are a bit tricky because there are some exceptions. For instance, while you have more and most to make the comparative and superlative of some two-syllable words, you also have the ER and EST for some of them. For instance, careful, more careful, most careful. Careful is a two-syllable word, but it doesn't go with the ER and EST principle. But in the word polite, you could have politer, politest, or you could want to add the more polite or most polite. But for three-syllable words and more, the right superlative and comparative to use, or comparative and superlative to use, would be more and most. For instance, you have interesting, interesting, three syllables, and then you have more interesting, and the superlative would be most interesting. You have words like expensive, expensive, three syllables, more expensive, most expensive. You should never be found saying expensiver. Well, I don't think anyone says that. Or expensivest. Okay, so it goes that way. But remember, I said there are exceptions. For instance, you have the word little. You could have little, littler, littlest. Or you could say little, less, least. Little, less, the least. Okay, so you just have to understand that English is dynamic, and there are some basic principles to follow, and the principles could change at any time too. Now, the problem comes in when you try to model things up, or you overdo it, and then you make sentences like, this show is more better than every other show I've watched. More better is tautology. Better is the right word to use. This show is better than every other show I've watched. So better would be the right word to use there. Remember the principles. When you're talking about three words with three syllables or more, then you apply the more for the comparative, and then most for the superlative. And for 2 syllables, for some 2-syllable words, you use more for the comparative and most for the superlative. However, there are some exceptions. Remember, I said that earlier, for some 2-syllable words, and then also for some words like good, better, best. There's no good, gooder, goodest, of course. Bad, worse, worst. There's no bad, badder, baddest. Okay, so that'll be it today. I hope I've not muddled or crammed too many information in your head. Let me know what you think. Let me know if this is helpful, and if it's too much, do well to let me know in the comment section. I would like to know how you feel about it. So, thank you so much. I always look forward to having you join me on Fluently Speaking with Bola. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell, share with your friends. Keep staying safe, wash your hands, avoid crowded places, and use a face mask if you have to go out. Have a lovely weekend. Bye for now.